crocodiles are considered some of the most highly organized reptiles. This is because they possess remarkably complex anatomy and physiology. Their nervous, respiratory, and circulatory systems are unique and unmatched among other species. The word crocodile comes from Greek and translates to pebble worm, a reference to the resemblance between their scales and small, rounded stones. Crocodiles are regarded not only as close relatives of the dinosaurs that lived on our planet millions of years ago, but also as surprisingly close kin to birds. Modern crocodilians include true crocodiles, alligators, including caimans, and gharials. True crocodiles can be distinguished from alligators by the shape of their snout. Alligators have a broader, U-shaped snout, while true crocodiles have a narrower, V-shaped one. The order of crocodilians includes species that vary greatly in size. Alligators typically grow to about 1.5 meters, sometimes a little more, while true crocodiles can reach lengths of 7 meters or more. Crocodiles have elongated, somewhat flattened bodies, large heads, and long snouts connected to their bodies by short necks. Their nostrils and eyes are positioned on the top of their heads, allowing them to breathe and see while remaining almost entirely submerged. Even so, a crocodile can comfortably stay underwater for several hours by holding its breath. Interestingly, despite being cold-blooded, these remarkable animals can adapt to their environment by generating muscular tension, which raises their body temperature a few degrees above the ambient temperature. Unlike many reptiles, whose bodies are covered in scales, crocodiles are covered in tough, keratinized plates that form distinctive patterns. Some species also have reinforced bony plates beneath the skin, connected to the skeleton, creating an armored body well protected from external threats. A crocodile's tail is massive and serves several functions. It acts as an engine for swimming, a rudder for steering, and a regulator of body temperature, depending on conditions. On land, crocodiles move awkwardly because of their short, side-positioned legs, but in the water they are agile and at ease. Their bodies are typically black, dark olive, muddy brown, or gray, colors that help them blend seamlessly into their surroundings. Albino crocodiles do exist, but they rarely survive long in the wild. Scientists still debate the exact period when crocodiles first appeared on Earth. Some believe it was during the Cretaceous period, about 100 million years ago, while others suggest an even earlier origin, nearly twice as far back in time. Experts argue that crocodiles have survived in almost their original form largely because they prefer freshwater habitats, which have changed very little over millions of years. Crocodiles spend most of their lives in the water, coming ashore in the mornings or evenings to bask in the sun. Often, they simply drift with the current, completely surrendering to the flow. On land, crocodiles are frequently seen lying with their mouths wide open. This posture helps them regulate body temperature. As moisture evaporates from the lining of their mouths, it cools the body. They can remain in this position for hours, barely moving. During these moments, turtles and birds often climb onto them without fear. A fascinating behavior occurs when prey ventures close enough. With a powerful swing of its tail, the crocodile lunges forward, snapping its strong jaws shut around the victim and swallowing it whole. Large prey can provide enough food for several crocodiles at once. Although they are not particularly agile on land, crocodiles sometimes leave their water habitats and travel several kilometers. On land, they usually move slowly, legs splayed out to the sides, swinging their tails and bodies from side to side. When necessary, however, a crocodile can raise its body off the ground and bring its legs underneath, enabling much faster movement. Nile crocodiles, for instance, can reach speeds of up to 12 kilometers per hour on land. Lifespan. Thanks to their slow metabolism and remarkable adaptability, some crocodile species can live 80 to 120 years. Unfortunately, most individuals never reach such an advanced age, as they are often hunted by humans for both meat and skin, which is highly valued on the black market. Certain species, such as saltwater and Nile crocodiles, are notorious for their aggression and frequent attacks on humans. In contrast, the fish-eating slender-snout crocodiles and the smaller blunt-snout species are considered relatively harmless. To date, scientists have described about 25 species of crocodiles, belonging to 8 genera and 3 families. Family Crocodilidae, 15 species of true crocodiles. Family Alligatoridae, 8 species of alligators and caimans. Family Gavialidae, 2 species of gharials. Some experts argue that there are only 24 species, while others suggest there may be as many as 28. Habitat. Crocodiles are found across much of the world, with the exception of Europe and Antarctica, favoring tropical and subtropical regions. Most species live in freshwater bodies, while a few tolerate brackish water, inhabiting river estuaries. Nearly all prefer rivers and shallow lakes with slow currents, with the notable exception of saltwater crocodiles. Remarkably, saltwater crocodiles of Australia and Oceania can cross wide sea bays and straits, reaching distant islands. Although they naturally inhabit coastal lagoons and river deltas, these massive reptiles have been sighted in open seas up to 500 kilometers from land. By contrast, American alligators are more often found in dense, swampy wetlands. What do crocodiles eat? Crocodiles usually hunt alone, though some species have been observed hunting cooperatively, driving prey into a trap. Adult crocodiles are capable of taking down surprisingly large animals that venture too close to the water, including rhinos, wildebeest, zebras, buffalo, hippos, lions, young elephants. When it comes to bite force, no other living animal can rival crocodiles. Their teeth are uniquely structured so that the smaller lower teeth fit perfectly into the gaps between the large upper ones. Once something is caught in a crocodile's jaws, escape is virtually impossible. However, their dentition comes with a trade-off: crocodiles cannot chew. Instead, they tear their prey into chunks and swallow them whole. To rip pieces off, a crocodile often performs a death roll, spinning its body to twist off fragments of flesh. Fun fact: a crocodile can consume food equal to 23% of its own body weight in a single meal. For comparison, a human weighing 80 kilograms would have to eat more than 18 kilograms of food in one sitting. The staple of a crocodile's diet is fish, but their preferences change as they grow. Young crocodiles eat invertebrates such as worms, insects, mollusks, and crustaceans. As they mature, their diet expands to include amphibians, birds, and other reptiles. Cannibalism is also common. Adult crocodiles sometimes prey on juveniles. Scavenging is part of their feeding strategy too. Crocodiles may stash leftovers and return later to feed on the decomposing remains. Reproduction and offspring. The breeding season begins with fierce clashes between males competing for territory. When it comes to nesting, females select suitable spots depending on the species, either on sandbanks or dry land. They dig holes and bury their eggs beneath sand, soil, grass, or leaves. On sunny riverbanks, nest pits may reach half a meter deep, while in shaded areas they are much shallower. A clutch can range from 10 to 100 eggs, depending on the species. Crocodile eggs resemble those of chickens or geese but with a much thicker shell. The mother guards her nest vigilantly against predators, often going without food for extended periods. Incubation lasts 2 to 3 months, depending on ambient temperature. Remarkably, temperature also determines the sex of the hatchlings. At around 31 to 32 degrees Celsius, mostly males develop, while cooler or hotter conditions produce females. Hatchlings typically emerge at the same time, ensuring a synchronized birth. Hatching. The arrival of baby crocodiles is a fascinating process and rarely happens without the mother's assistance. When ready to hatch, the young begin making high-pitched calls from inside the eggs. This sound alerts the mother, who rushes to help. If needed, she digs up the nest, freeing the hatchlings from the sand and soil. She may even gently carry them to the water in her mouth, though many make the journey on their own. Not all crocodile species, however, are attentive parents. False gharials, for example, abandon their nests entirely and show no concern for their offspring's survival. Despite their fearsome jaws, mother crocodiles never harm their babies. This is thanks to special pressure receptors in their mouths that allow them to carry delicate hatchlings safely. An extraordinary fact, in their parental care, crocodile mothers often transport hatchling turtles to the water as well, if the turtle nests are close by. By exploiting this instinct, turtles ensure extra protection for their own young. Growth and development. For the first few days, the mother remains highly attentive, responding to every sound her hatchlings make. Soon afterward, however, the young crocodiles disperse, hiding in dense aquatic vegetation for protection. From that point on, survival becomes a daily struggle. Many predators, including adult crocodiles, see hatchlings as easy prey. For this reason, juveniles spend several years concealed in vegetation until they grow large enough to defend themselves. In their early years, crocodiles grow rapidly, but this pace slows over time. Eventually, their growth rate drops to just a few centimeters per year, a process that continues throughout life. Thus, the older the crocodile, the longer it becomes. In the first couple of years, a young crocodile's body mass can triple. Yet even such rapid growth does not guarantee survival. Up to 80% of hatchlings die within their first few years. Sexual maturity is not reached until around the age of 8. Natural enemies of crocodiles. Neither their armor-like skin, razor-sharp teeth, nor natural camouflage can fully protect crocodiles from danger. The smaller the crocodile, the more vulnerable it is. On land, lions ambush them, as crocodiles move awkwardly outside water. In rivers, hippos are powerful enough to bite them in half. Even elephants, when encountering crocodiles on land, often trample them to death rather than leaving them alone. For hatchlings, the threats are even greater. Many predators target both baby crocodiles and their nests. These include herons and storks, baboons, marabou storks, hyenas, turtles, mongooses, monitor lizards. Young crocodiles also fall prey to anacondas and jaguars. Population and conservation status. By the mid-20th century, experts became alarmed as crocodile populations plummeted. Industrial-scale hunting had reached over 7 million individuals per year. When Europeans expanded into tropical regions, crocodiles became targets not only for meat but also for sport and, most importantly, for their valuable skins, a demand that continues today. In the early 1900s, relentless hunting drove several species to the brink of extinction, including Siamese crocodiles, Nile crocodiles, the American alligator, the slender-snout crocodile. In the United States alone, as many as 50,000 alligators were killed annually, forcing the government to implement protective laws to prevent the species from vanishing. Another serious threat came from large-scale egg collection, where eggs were taken to farms to raise crocodiles for leather and meat. This practice devastated populations of Siamese crocodiles, particularly in Cambodia's Tunnel Sap Lake. Modern threats. Today, the biggest danger is not hunting but habitat destruction caused by human activity. The gharial in India and the Chinese alligator have nearly disappeared from their natural habitats due to human expansion. Other global threats include environmental pollution, introduction of invasive plant species in coastal zones, changes in vegetation that affect sunlight exposure to soil and nests, disrupting egg incubation and skewing sex ratios. This imbalance in sex ratios can cause entire populations to collapse. Crocodiles are capable of interbreeding across species. While this produces hybrids that grow faster and show greater resilience, these hybrids are sterile and cannot reproduce. Such crossbreeding often occurs when farm-raised crocodiles are released into local waters, displacing native species. This has already led to the near loss of Cuban crocodiles, and now the New Guinea crocodile faces the same threat. Here's the video. If you liked it, please give a thumbs up and subscribe. See you next time.